Hi boys and girls, it's me Butch. My name is Terry David Silvercloud. You can do a search for me if you want. I'm out there. I'm not online, but there's lots of digital records about me. So I'm 73 years old. I suffer from chronic pain, from joint injuries and severe arthritis. Today's a good day for me. It's 12:46 p.m. on the 14th of May 2018 here in Vancouver, British Columbia, where I live. So my thing in my old age is being a painter, an artist. I thought I'd do that when I was younger, and I realized pretty quickly I wasn't going to be able to make a living out of that, but I have time for it in my old age, and you still can't make a living as a painter in your old age. A lot of famous paintings aren't particularly good paintings. They're just famous because their painter was famous. I'm not going to get into that. Today, my passion is theoretical physics, subatomic physics, physics at size smaller than atoms. I'm into things like the speed of light, relativity, and electrons. Electrons aren't much studied, but I study them, and I have an absolutely great theory why they cause the speed of light and how they power the universe. And you can find a video of that on this channel, or go to electronspeed.tumblr.com, where I've posted some of my thoughts. I'm reworking the theory a little bit. I published it a while ago, but I'm reworking it to get rid of the typos and spelling mistakes, because this little computer doesn't have spell check. But I found a free office program that's going to fix that. Plus I realized that since I know that the electrons cause the speed of light, that I can now create a grand unified theory which will explain gravity. It'll explain everything, and it's all rather simple, really. We live in a binary universe. That's another story. So I'm into physics. I'm a pretty well educated and smart guy. I served in the Royal Canadian Navy in the reserves for 3 years, where I was a signalman and overqualified for my rank, which was able seaman. I had done enough signaling things. I could have been a petty officer. And then I entered the regular forces at 18, and they made me an officer. And I served another 5 years in the regular forces and rose to the rank of a lieutenant. I navigated HMCS Cape Scott in 1966, 1967. Took her across the ocean, did lots of voyages. And then I went off to submarine school and learned how to drive submarines. And I served aboard HMS Tiptoe, HMS Opportune, and HMCS Ojibwe before I finally left the Navy, because I figured out I was gay, and in those days you could be thrown in jail for being gay. And since I hadn't signed on permanently, they kept offering me a permanent commission, and I couldn't tell them why I was turning it down, because then I would be dishonorably discharged. Yeah, it was illegal to be gay in those days. So I wasn't going to be the admiral I wanted to be, because I'd figured out that I like guys, and I don't even fit into the gay world very well. I'm just telling you a whole lot about myself because I'm here to rant about the National Anthem of Canada, which is called O Canada, and I won't put a background of O Canada on here, because even though you cannot copyright O Canada is in the public domain. The only thing you can copyright is an arrangement. You can't even copyright a performance. It's in the public domain, but Google doesn't seem to know that, and every time I use O Canada they slap copyright claims on it, and I ain't fighting them anymore. So I'm here to talk about the National Anthem of Canada, which I refuse to stand up for nor sing, and I'm going to give you my reasons why. I consider the anthem in its present form to be horrifically evil. It contributes to the brainwashing of the Christian and the Islamic churches that you must submit to an all-powerful, psychopathic God who will rule you forever, torture you, punish you, do horrendous things to you just to get you to step in line. And I can't deal with having a queen being the head of Canada, because by definition the Queen or King of England is a defender of the faith of the Church of England, which is equally horrific with all other religions. I consider all religions, any religion, Buddhism, you name it, I consider it to be horrendously evil. I consider it to be evil and child abuse, that people should teach their children their superstitions. I think that's horrendous child abuse. So the problem with O Canada is that it makes an appeal to God. It doesn't particularly say what God, but Canada is a secular country. There's freedom of religion, but there's no allowance for God in schools or in government institutions. Yet there it is in our national anthem, and all of our parliamentarians are just too weak-kneed, and I don't have much time for politicians. I don't much trust any politician, and they know that would be an issue that would probably not get them elected if they went up against God in the National Anthem of Canada, O Canada. So like Socrates, who denied the gods and cost him his life, he lived nearly 500 years ago or 500 BC, between 400 500 BC. Socrates, he lived in the so-called democracy of Athens. There was no democracy unless you were an actual bona fide citizen of Athens. Not everybody got to vote, just the particular set of citizens of Athens. And the male crow is nesting across the way, wants me to give him a handout. If you give me a second, I'll do that. They're nesting. Yeah. There. That's the pair from up the street. I've lived here for 8 years, and they've known me since they grew up, the crows, so they're quite friendly to me. Where was I? See, now I lost my place and I don't want to start over again. So I'm going to jump into, Jesus, I almost start over again. I'm not going to start over again. So the problem, let me tell you a bit about Bibles. Like, it was the book of Revelation 12, verse 7 that united the words devil, Satan, and the ancient serpent in one paragraph. So it's fair game to think that they're somehow related, and the female, she always squawks. That's why I know they live up the street. She always squawks. That's weird. They unite those three words together, and Satan, the devil, and hell, and Lucifer all came to us from errors in translation by St. Jerome, who gave us our first Bible around the year 385. The Christians got their act together and stopped squabbling and took over Rome, which was falling apart, and made themselves a Bible. So they translated the Old Testament, Tanakh, from apparently a Greek version because of the errors that occurred, and they decided which books would be in the New Testament, and they liked the psychopath St. Paul a lot. He was really big time on punishment. I'm into rehabilitation, not punishment. I don't believe in punishment. You might have to lock certain people up to keep them away from us, but you don't punish people. Nothing good ever came of punishment, ever. So Jerome, he obviously used Greek translations, and if you study languages and you study the Bible and Bible history, it's rapidly apparent why. The Jehovah's Witness, they're really big on hell and the 144,000. Prophecy can't be real, because if prophecy is real, nothing you do, no matter how good or bad you are, no matter how evil you are, no matter how many people you kill, no matter how much you steal, no matter how goody two-shoes you are, none of that's going to cut it unless you're in the book according to prophecy, and there's only going to be 144,000 of those according to the book of Revelation, and everybody else is out. And they'll either have to be resurrected and live outside of heaven, which will be where the 144,000 will live on earth. That's the prophecy, if you want to read it. I've read the Quran, I've read Bibles, and I'm currently researching the New World Bible, which is the Bible of Jehovah's Witness, so I can make a video and rip that sucker apart too. I'm like Socrates in that I don't believe in a soul, but what is me, the essence of me in time, space, because I'm a physicist. I have to be true to myself, and I would rather die than acknowledge the idea of a God. That's just so outrageously evil. So, O Canada appeals to a God. That's evil. That's just evil. It's part of the brainwashing to make people believe there's a God, when in fact any educated and intelligent person would certainly by age 18 to 25 will come to recognize, well, that's a pile of crap, and stop worrying about it. People get into religion because they're afraid to die. Well, you're going to die. I assure you, you are going to die. Even I can't escape it, and I'm really close to it. I'm making these videos because I don't know if I'm going to be here one day to the next because of the issues I have. So I'm trying to do the things that are important to me, and one of them is to denounce the evils of all religion, all religion. If the Quran were written today with the Quran is the book of Revelation on steroids. I mean, really, it wasn't written till the 8th century. So, Muhammad, he grew up in the Kaaba, which was the first temple of the Jews. They just don't seem to realize it yet. The third temple was already destroyed in 68 to 70 during the Jewish-Roman Wars, when Tiberius got so ticked off at the Jews of Judea, he sent 60,000 troops to Judea to kill every man, woman, and child who identified as Jewish, or to take them off to slavery to Rome. And the last of the Masoretes, they holed up on a mountain, and the Romans, they just thought, well, okay, so they just built a ramp up the mountain. So it takes them a few years to build the ramp to get up the mountain. You're not getting away from the Romans. And so the Romans wiped out the Masoretes that didn't jump off the cliffs, but they left us the Dead Sea Scrolls. And that's why we know for certain that Isaiah 14 never had a Lucifer ever, never was a Lucifer. Jerome brought that into the Roman Catholic Bible, and Western Christian churches removed Lucifer from Isaiah 14:12 back in the late 70s, early 80s when they printed the new Revised Standard Bible. So modern Bibles don't have a Lucifer, and the Jehovah's Witnesses, people were clever enough to remove Lucifer from their Bible as well, but they're so stuck on the the coming of Jesus and all that kind of stuff, and the 144,000, and the idea that Satan and the devil were actual personalities. They can't correct that error in the Bible, so the modern Bibles tend to not have hell appear so much. They just say it's grave, and sometimes there's two words that Jerome introduced, which is, well, it was introduced in the Greek translation of the Tanakh. In Greek, someone who doesn't agree with you, or somebody with whom you have had an argument, or just somebody with whom you don't get along, or somebody with whom you're debating, like it'd be the prosecutor and the defendant, that kind of thing, they are diabolic. It comes from the Greek diabolos, which Jerome translated into diabolos. And then when King James got around to translating the Bible in 1605, we got the word devil, because it was kind of a popular word at the time, I guess. I'm not sure why that happened, but devil had entered the vocabulary, and diabolos got translated as devil. So now in modern translations, you'll sometimes see it as oh crap, I got the right, just checking my microphone. Make sure I got the right, make sure these guys are working and not the webcam, which can't hear me, or I've been yakking for 14 minutes for nothing. I try to be entertaining. If you're still here, you want to learn something, and if you want to go away, that's fine. I'm going to wrap this up because I go on and on and on because I have ADHD and I yak. People call me a Sheldon Cooper, but I don't think so. But it helps me understand myself a bit better and my issues with humanity. And I'm one of these people that feel like I'm surrounded by ignorant barbarians. Nobody knows anything I'm talking about, and I don't have people with whom I can have intelligent conversations because nobody knows anything about anything, it seems. Who knew? So here we are at 14 minutes and 52 seconds. The whole point of this video is to get your attention and make you realize I'm a proud Canadian. I'm third, fourth, and fifth generation Canadian. You know, I was born here, and my parents were born here, and some of my grandparents were born here, and some of my great grandparents were born here, and one of my great grandparents was born here. So I've been around for a while, and I'm a pretty smart guy. I'm the smartest person I know. I'm looking for smart people. If you're really smart and you're into subatomic physics, I'd sure like to talk about the speed of light with somebody else who has a clue what I'm talking about. I'm busy denouncing religions and making videos about denouncing religions because of how horrifically evil I think they are. I've already mentioned that the Queen of England is the defender of the faith, so I can't have anything to do with the royal family. They're just perpetuating the evil of religion. So I'm going to shut up now. I have lots of other videos. I'm not looking for subscribers. Lots of people hate me. I don't give a crap. I don't care what you think. Seriously, I'm free. I'm self-realized. I don't give a crap about anything. I'm just being me and true to myself. I'm being, as Nietzsche suggested, following my dreams and my heart. And if it causes hurt and pain, then the only happiness that you can possibly have is giving up all desire and being true to your heart. So I like some of my toys. I like my microphones. I like my furniture, and I like my sofa. I always wanted one of those sofas. Still paying for it, but I'm in debt. But you know, I'm going to enjoy my final days. My mother died quite a few years ago. Yesterday was Mother's Day, so I wished a few mothers happy Mother's Day. But one of the things my mom taught me is that you should use your nice things. Don't have a nice thing and not use it. Don't have like something really expensive and you don't make use of it. Crow's back. That's a young one. Oh no, it's the pair from up the street. Two of them. I'll deal with them in a minute. Don't worry, they won't go away. They know I'm here. We had, and the example is that we were quite poor, and our family was sort of dysfunctional, which is why I'm probably a bit weird. But she had a set of silverware that had been given to her as a wedding gift, and one day she just decided that this is what we're going to use. And so after that, we always ate off real silverware. So that was a really important lesson to me in my life, is that you're not here long. Enjoy your little luxuries, and none of it lasts. You're going to be dead. I guarantee it. If there's something after this, I'm a physicist, and I'm sure it'll look after itself. I'm not worrying about it. I just be true to me. So bye-bye from Butch. I'm going to go say hi to the crows. I got to click on you one more time. Bye.